even if they want, even if those Western companies will want to get back, and they, believe me or not, they will want to get back someday, because money is like worth more than just politics or like political aspirations. Like their place will be occupied by other by other companies from China, from Arab countries. So I think Russia, in current state of affairs, Russia is doing quite well.
Yes, I know quite well. Russia economic is very strong, even in war. You know, Sergey, in this nowadays, okay, let me record it, okay. In this nowadays, we can see the general election in Indonesia will come,
Mm-hmm.
okay. A good president, Mr. Joko Widodo, right now will change to other candidate of presidents. Okay, now in here I see a Prabowo Subianto. You know, he is one of the former of the chief military, which is very good and strong. I think that we hope they put expectation on him that he could build Indonesia economic. If you see the Indonesia economic per day very worse. People think Indonesia rich, but actually very poor. The poor people in Indonesia, under economic standards, they will live like me. We will live like a $5 per day, under $5 even any in the village. Okay, you see many jobless in Indonesia. It's very hard to look for a job. Okay, the rich people will be enriched. The rich people will go more richer. Okay, and the poor people to be criminal. Okay, the education cost very expensive. Okay, only the rich people can pay $50 until $200 can go to international school and national plus school. Okay, when you go to the market, for example, you bring $3, and then you will see it will run out. Okay, it seem this money why very fast to be disappear. You bring 50,000 rupiah or similar to $300, which you can live with this on one day, okay? And you take this to the market, and this money will be disappear easily. And when I find out the way, actually it because the inflation 20%, okay, of the price increase, including our gas increase 20%, never decrease. Okay, I think that's with my money. I think I pay debt to China. Many people don't realize they pay debt to China, okay, because we borrow much money to China, but my government didn't care about this. My government just care about borrow money, borrow money, borrow
Yeah,
money, borrow
Baron,
money.
just take loans, state loans, and make the regular poor class people pay it off. It's no, it's, I mean, it's
Yes, like that,
selfish.
Sergey.
It's selfish.
And then they don't see, actually when we borrow money, we have to build our education system. Number one, there is no, we can say there is no, uh, we can say commercial things in education, because so far 80% of education in Indonesia criminalized by the charity, which make the school fee very expensive. For example, $50. I can afford $50 to pay my kids to go to school. $100 more expensive. $200 most expensive. You know, I couldn't afford that. But if you have salary $1,000, maybe you can afford your children to go to those expensive school. So the rich people will go forward, and the poor people will be criminal. That is, I see the way of the politic in this nowadays of Indonesia. That's why many people very hard to look for a job, because why? I think our authority don't have capability. Maybe they don't speak English, but I think they don't know how to influence. For example, how to influence Russia to build their manufacturing in Indonesia, how to influence other country like Taiwan, like Korea, to build manufacturing in Indonesia, or Singapore to build manufacturing in Indonesia. If manufacturing in Indonesia, Indonesian people will work, right?
Right. It's all about like it's the crucial point. Like if you want to run your economy efficient, you gotta create new jobs. And so how can you create the new jobs? You just raise up your industries and manufacturers and yeah. But yeah, for this to be, you need cooperation. You need like a stronger ally who would help you to develop it. Yeah, and yeah, you're absolutely right. It's for the well-being of Indonesian people. Like people would would definitely take those jobs, especially if they were offered competitive salaries. I mean, not simply in Indonesia, but within standards of like the whole Asia, so that people could improve uh, their lifestyle. You know.
You know, our Ministry of Economy said our economic is getting well. I think
Yeah.
she doesn't pay attention what is going on right now on the public. People very hard to make a job, very
Yeah.
hard to look for money. You know, 80% education controlled by capitalists. Okay, 80% of the education in Indonesia controlled by capitalists. Only the rich people can enter, as I told you, the school from $50 per month until $200 per month. Okay, and then let me see how about the other kids who couldn't afford the 500,000 rupiah, or we can say 750,000 rupiah, or similar to $50. Okay, so I expect for Prabowo, you know, this is my best candidate. Okay, I put my expectation on him, so Indonesia can get out from this property and stupidity out of the, you know, this world right now, so Indonesia can going to be more better. Okay, because
Uh-huh.
we see we need a strong leader twice more harder than Jokowi. Jokowi is a good president, but I want to see a president twice harder than him, stronger, can build the economy. It's not like this. You know, 80% education under control by capitalists.
Mm-hmm.
How Indonesia to go forward? As I told you, we tried to give our project to the school. The school didn't accept because they don't want effort. They just want corruption. But if I say to school, Sergey, I have a fund from Russia, $2 million. Which school want to take a part to this fund? I think there will be many school come to me.
Yes. Everybody. Yes.
And many people will say, I am poor, I need help, I need money, I don't have money.
Yes. But
But when
actually,
they
when
get
we
money,
come, yeah, yeah, but
they,
actually, when we come to them and offer them like a program that will boost their students' speaking skills, they say no.
that's why, you know, that's why I want to believe, I want to ensure the people of Indonesians about Prabowo, who is Prabowo actually. Prabowo is a great president of Indonesia later. Because when I see the other candidates, I don't think so that they can make this program really great. Because why? I think Indonesia already, you know, faced many problems. As I told you, Indonesia is the lowest economic country in Asia Pacific, compared with Bangladesh, compared with what's the name? Bangladesh, compared with uh, I think Asia, down a little bit of Thailand, Myanmar. Okay, compared with this country, Indonesia is still more upper, but mostly Indonesian just live $5 per day or $250 until $200 per month. How we could build our economic system if like that?
Yeah. Yeah, when people need to fight even for like this amount of money, we have to uh yeah, that's terrible. I mean, that's an impossible life. I would
But if Prabowo not to be president, I will think I will get out from this country. However, the way I will get out, I don't have any choice anymore because I see we don't have a right future again for the future. No, because if the people in Asia, just like Indonesia, only can live with $5 per day, it's very impossible, Sergey, to achieve the life. Compare with US, compare with Japan, compare with Malaysia, compare
Yeah,
with
you basically you
Singapore.
all you on the only thing you that like bothers your mind is how to make some money, like to put to dinner at your like at your table today, and like to pay like those bills. That's it. I mean, that's a completely different life quality, and it's just make you live, like it's just make you maybe waste your life. I mean, uh, understanding that in some other country, like your skill could be used like more productively. You could have a job, you could have a career, because basically what many Indonesian people do, I mean, besides those who are like rich, maybe 1%, basically you just work to live, like to afford, like to cover your basic needs. Like you're not making a career, which is I think
Yeah,
crucial in every person's life, to build a career, like along with building a family, but building career is not less important too. And imagine people like old, getting old and still like working in the Starbucks, or I mean, washing dishes, or like doing some other job, which is important because somebody's got to do it. But for example, in United States, washing dishes is a job for someone that is like who's like in school, or maybe who is like an immigrant who is newly arrived, and he just
yeah,
considers it as a temporary job, but
you're
later
right.
he will advance. But but being old and doing that for 20, 30 years, or any kind of job that doesn't require skill, it's just like as if you just throw your life into the trash bin, and you're not satisfied. You
Yes.
but yeah.
As we see right now in our country, there are so many people jobless. They don't have a job. I will share you Prabowo Subianto picture.
Okay.
He he is a great president candidate will be of Indonesia.
Hmm.
You see this picture?
Yes. So
It's
I
him.
think, yeah, so I think you should show this picture to Vladimir Putin so that he helps him to win.
you know, if I am, Sergey, if I am a entrepreneur, I will fight for his win. I don't care about money. I must make Prabowo to be winner. If I am a, uh, we can say like uh, a great businessman. I have a business. I don't care about money. Maybe I will give half of my money to make him win. I don't want to bribe people, but I will show what this man can do to the people.
Mhm.
Actually, if you read his biography, uh, what we can say, he is a very loyal person to all the people of Indonesia, and he sacrificed many things of his life for Indonesia. But people don't see that. Okay, you know, I realize and I see him. He is a great candidate. He must win. If not, you don't see the future of Indonesia again. What it will be. But I believe in him. I put a trust in him, so he could win this election. Maybe Putin can help to win, to make Prabowo to be winner.
Yes. Yeah, just like he did back in 2016 to American election.
Sergey, because the relation between Russia and Indonesia very tight. In Asia Pacific, Indonesia ally is Russia. When the Australia wants to attack Indonesia, or United States wants to attack Indonesia, Russia will come to help, because Indonesia and Russia is ally. If this country divided become many parts, I think that is not a good idea, because our relationship between Russia, for example, our tank, our helicopter, fighter jet, all over come from the Russia. I think almost 70%.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, uh, of course, it built a good relationship. That's why, how to save Indonesia future. Yeah, like this. As I told you, how the people live with $5 per day, they must struggle. Okay, we must get out from this nightmare.
Right. Uh, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty like he's a he seems to be a very experienced man in his early 70s, and yeah, is yeah,
No,
I
so
will.
many,
Mhm.
so many news about him, But I don't believe again with any one person of the candidate. I think he will be the one. Yeah, this is Sergey. Right now, Jakarta Post. Yeah, I will try to check the Jakarta Post. You see that? This is
Yeah.
the news.
Hmm.
This is the news of his presidential fight to the better. Prabowo beats Ganjar Anies in president runoff LSI survey.
Hmm.
Do you think how long Putin will be still president, Sergey? Still long?
It's hard to say, Dedi. It's well, despite his age, he just turned 70 last year. He's been in pretty good shape, and even though all this gossip about him having some different like mental diseases like Asperger's syndrome and Alzheimer, well, they seem to be wrong because he shows up on public regularly. He conducts the meetings and he makes business trips and many like quite often. So he's not just like sitting in bunker like some of the media say because like yeah he can be seen quite frequently at different spots, including in other spots of the country. So I think it will he may run for 2024 election, like it's quite possible because uh, his his mental and physical health allows him to do that. And um, seems like if he's gonna run for it, he's gonna beat all the other candidates because many experts say like there's no alternative to him or the strong competitor that could that could beat him. You know.
Yeah, we hope Putin to be the president, still president, because it's very hard to look for a president like him. To be honest, he did the right thing to protect Russia authority, to protect Russia territorial. He did the right thing, Sergey.
Well, yes, yes. Well, in a way, like, yeah, in a way, it was unavoidable. I mean, the conflict in Ukraine. So I think it just like he was just the first one who made the first shot, and yeah, I,
Yeah,
mhm.
all of those because we can say, Sergey, this is a problem actually, but I think whatever Putin did, I agree with him. In other way, he just tried to protect his territorial and to settle peace around that area. More than of it, I think nothing.
Hmm. Oh yeah, like because he clearly understood that like the conflict was unavoidable and he had to take all the like preventive measures to, well, he was actually taking all the preventive measures just to refrain this conflict from getting into like a bloody phase, into an open war conflict. But so he tried to use all the gears, like first of all diplomatic gears for the last 8 years, trying to make Ukraine and its Western allies to obey the agreement. But unfortunately, he didn't succeed on that, and it just all came to the point when Ukraine supplied with large amounts of Western arms was like got got enough power to be able to attack first this rebel region of Donbass, but probably later they would like advance further unless they were confronted the resistance of the Russian troops. So I think it just so he just it just made the first shot or made the first punch, and I mean it all happened out of a sudden, but according to many people, it was just an question of time when it would happen. So it happened, and of course it was a large unexpectancy for the whole world. But if you think about it carefully, especially for the people who are familiar with situations, who are monitoring it, and who are familiar with the local state of affairs in Ukraine for the last 30 years, and the history, they knew that the conflict, it would lead to war.
Yeah, you're right, Sergey. I think, Sergey, it's very important. We try to keep and establish or to keep peace our country, and we try to make it safe. Yeah, that's why we need the military equipment. A very sophisticated military equipment is very important to protect our nations from the enemy. And we need also allies. So suppose I'm the minister of defense, I will try to build a good relationship to some of the country in, like for example, Russia, Malaysia. I will try to take them all, and to make our territorial to be the safe place from another planets.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I don't need to mention it, okay? Yes, of course. When we gather together, I think there will be no other country wants to disturb us. Okay, as I told you the last time, uh, why it suddenly the bomber Russian fighter jet come to Indonesia? You know why? Indonesia just allow you come because allies, believe, trust, and then you use our territorial elite, not so long, but almost 3 or 4 days, just to pack your bomber fighter jet, you know, because the another one country tried to send the other bomber fighter jet to that country, and that's why it's look like what we can say a high tension, Yes, we can say a lie. Yeah, but of course, war it doesn't never solve any problem in this world. Instead of peace, yeah, I think so.
Yes, like a war is like the last weapon you use unless all the previous ones didn't work out. So um, I mean, it's just there are some situations when war is unavoidable, and but yeah, we must pursue by all means to prevent the wars. Actually, to reduce, I'm pretty sure that we must reduce the amount of strategic, like nuclear missiles, in order to reduce the tensions in the world. But I think nuclear weapon has its pros too, because hadn't Russia had its nuclear weapon, just imagine what would happen. It would just Russia would be invaded uh, by Western countries, and because I think I think the major thing that stops them from direct conflict with Russia is the nuclear weapon, because they understand that Russia may use it, well, according to its doctrine. Russia only uses as a matter of self-defense, as a response to aggression, or as a response. If I remember correctly, the doctrine says, in case if something or someone threatens Russia's existence. So only
Yes.
just uniquely in this case, Russia you may use it.
Yes, because it was a nightmare of the last of Uni Soviet. Yeah. Now this is to be the example. Yeah. It will never to be happen for the second time. That's why nuclear weapon is very important as the special weapons. Yeah. As we can say, Sergey, special weapons to protect your country, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. That's really good, Sergey. Indonesia maybe wants to make the nuclear weapons, but how do we? $3 per day, you know?
Yes.
I think I think if we want to make a nuclear weapons, Indonesian people must get ready starving for 6 months.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
To be serious, we want it, Sergey. If we have, to be serious, if we have nuclear weapons, many countries will be afraid of us, Sergey. They want to play with us. Japan, they don't want it. US, they don't want it. Oh, they have nuclear weapons. So, no, 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 they will say that. Every country want it. But when they want to have it, US will come and, hey, don't do that. It is not really allowed due to the United Nations law. And then you build it. Because why? You want to protect of your country because you have a nightmare before of the Soviet Union. And Indonesia, we want to, of course, we want to make it, but we don't have money. But how do we make it? Even our education worse. The people, maybe we will try to call some of people from Russia come to Indonesia to make it in here. If we
Mm-hmm.
say that, as I told you, if we want to see the good nation, we must try to build the education system to be number one. No corruption, no mafia, no criminals, no gangster of education in there, or maybe as we can say rubber. Okay, the education itself will build the nation, and the education can show from the currency. If you see the currency of the nationality, or we can say that the currency of UK, the currency of US, the currency of France, the currency of Russia is good too, the currency of Japan. Most of this country they have a high currency compared with Indonesia rupiah. Okay, for example, if I go to Russia, I will live. Uh, it will be 200% from my income in Indonesia. It will be I will live with $500 per month in Russia, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then if I go to Europe and I will live with 1,500 euro per month, it will be I will live more about 700 to 900 until 1,000% of income in Indonesia. And go to US, it will be 15,000% of income from Indonesia. In Indonesia, I have, for example, 4 million, or we can say $250. It must be I must have a 4,500 US to go to US to live every month. So if we build the nuclear weapon in Indonesia, yes, we want it, but we don't have money.
Yeah.
All of the country wants to build it, Sergey, to protect.
Yeah, to protect and to be able to be considered a superpower, because any country that in the future may become a nuclear country, it will automatically make her in put her into the group of superpowers. No matter, it doesn't even matter how economic, what is the economic growth there. If they have a nuclear weapon, you see, like there's, I will give you a clear example. For example, North Korea. North Korea. They are very. They are the most isolated, most like locked up country. They don't. They have. They don't even have access to world internet. They just have their domestic networks. But they have nuclear weapon, which makes them automatically a superpower.
Yes, you're right.
Because because they may use it to blackmail it's like counterparts, and yeah, they don't need economy. They can say, look, I have a nuclear weapon here, and if you don't do the way I say it, so I can use it.
That's sophisticated. You
Mhm.
know, if I, for example, if I am to be the defense minister, okay, I will go to North Korea to meet Kim Jong Un and try to open the relationship with
Eng-
him
yeah,
in trade.
or maybe promote the English class. 500 per month.
No, it's very important to close to the superpower country. You know why Indonesia close to Russia? Because your country superpower. Okay. Now, why do Putin close to North Korea, Kim Jong Un? Because Kim Jong Un superpower. As you told me that I know they have nuclear weapons. Okay, those country is not dangerous, but those country just try to protect their country, their territorial. If we can be allies, for example, we are friends uh, together, I think no one want to disturb.
Yeah, it's gonna make, yeah, it makes sense.
As I told you, Indonesia can build nuclear weapon if only 6 months until 1 year starving, no salary to, I mean, to the government sector. Seriously,
Yeah, it will be a large sacrifice.
that's right. Because why, Sergey? Nuclear weapon is not cheap. It needs, as we see that it needs a, a practical. I mean, the scientists. Okay, it needs a proof. It needs an exercise. How long this missile can attack, for example. How long this can provide. How long this can protect this nation. Even we don't have doom. You know doom, Sergey?
Yes.
Like Israel.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you see the rocket come from other country to Sumatra, it will explode in here.
Mm-hmm.
There is no rocket wants to fight to up, it will explode I think in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
when it happen, okay, and then our government will try to buy Doom. Doom is very expensive. It's not cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can imagine.
As we say that education, money, is very important to build the nation. Because why? The children education is the capital of the nation. When this system destroyed, you just see how long this country can survive. Because uh, education economic system, it will build the country. We need what we can say. We need invention. Okay, invention made by education. Is it right, Sirki?
Right, exactly. Like if you want boost up your economy or make it attractive for like foreign investors, invest in human potential and human resource, but You know, Indonesian, like according to Indonesian officials just want to invest in their luxury life and not to invest in people, you know.
Yeah, Sergey, you're right. As we can say, uh, again and again, as I said to my daughters to learn English, mathematics a little bit, is very important. It's not only going to the formal school you can be smart. You can be smart at home too. Because in this nowadays, 80% of our education system is under control by private system. Okay, most of them they need money. I never see school to give me money to go to the school. For example, I want to start to the school, and then the school will give you money. Only the English class can give student money, you know.
Mm-hmm.
For 2 years, Sergey, I did it, you know. Yeah, because you know all of the schools and education system they just want money. They don't have any quality to prove. For example, they show this is my invention of our education system. What you show? They didn't have any kinds of inventions. That's why we didn't sell our invention. We just try to import to export some of the natural resources like gas, coal, like mining of the gold, like that.
Right. Exactly. Didi, I think I will go to sleep now. Very late here.
Okay, Sergey, that's great idea of the conversation. Next
Yeah,
time
and
we can
yeah,
discuss
well,
again.
tomorrow we can discuss like because I wanted to ask you about like us to talk about you wanting to move to Russia, but we can talk about it tomorrow.
Okay, Sergey. See you, Sergey.
Bye, Didi. Good night.
Bye, bye, Sergey.